A walking tour of Fisherman's Wharf in San Francisco, California. I'm Chris, this is Yellow Productions. This is the cable car turnaround at Fisherman's Wharf, and in this video, I'm gonna show you around San Francisco's most famous, most touristy neighborhood. I'm gonna turn the camera around so that you can see what I can see. We're starting right here at Ghiradelli Square at the cable car turnaround, but we're gonna be walking right down there along Fisherman's Wharf. I'm so glad you made it down the hill with me. We're starting the walk here at Jefferson and Hyde, right in front of the San Francisco Maritime Historical Park, just below the cable car turnaround and right at the intersection with the Argonaut Hotel. And we're gonna walk along Jefferson Street until Pier 39, which is also one of the most touristy areas down here in Fisherman's Wharf. The Maritime Museum or Historical Park is pretty neat. It's this pier. You have to pay admission to go on it, so we're actually not gonna go in it for this walk, but I'm just gonna peek in over the gate. If you did wanna go in, it is $15, though active military and children under 15 are free. And they got this little map here where they show you, they've got these different ships that you can go on. We're right here at the Hyde Street Pier. That's where the cable car turnaround is, and then we're gonna be walking right that way. We're not going into Ghiradelli Square in this video, but I've got a whole separate video about that you'll be able to watch after this one, well, assuming it's done. And if it's not done, then subscribe, because you'll be sure to see that as soon as it comes out. Now, I mentioned earlier, this was San Francisco's most well-known, most popular neighborhood, most touristy neighborhood. People who often only have one day in San Francisco come here. This has the most gift shops, the places where you can take a picture with a shark or with a pirate or perhaps even with a bear, where you can sit out, have views of the water, where you can see live music. Is this San Francisco's most representative neighborhood of San Francisco? No, not so much. If you were to come here, this is not really what it's like to live in San Francisco. This is definitely the manufactured street to soak up the tourists and to soak up their money. But like Times Square in New York City, I'm always attracted to this place, kind of like a moth to the light. We've got some musicians here on the left playing some music. We'll pause as we listen to them as we go by. All right, there we go. She is definitely the performer, it appears. So a lot of these buildings here in Fisherman's Wharf are old brick buildings because they were old warehouses, they were old factories. A lot of great restaurants here, a lot of good Italian food here. This is also the neighborhood where if you're interested in renting a bicycle to bike across the Golden Gate Bridge, there are a number of shops here that'll rent bikes to do that. My recommendation is Blazing Saddles if you have to pick one. This restaurant, it's called Cioppino's. What do they specialize in? Well, of course, they specialize in Italian food, but in particular, one would think cioppino, right? The cioppino right here, $44.95, a local classic, basically Italian seafood soup. And a lot of seafood down here. We're gonna see some really neat seafood as we walk down here, assuming it's crab season. They got the crabs out. It's really good clam chowder. One of my favorite places to eat down here is the sourdough bread place that we're gonna get to up ahead. The Wharf store, gift shop, has a neat mural on the side. And on the right, we have In-N-Out Burger. Now, why am I pointing out an In-N-Out Burger? This In-N-Out Burger is special. It is the only In-N-Out Burger in San Francisco proper, the city of San Francisco. They pay a lot of money. They start $20 minimum wage San Francisco, so you have to pay more to be here. And if you like In-N-Out Burger t-shirts, if you go in there and get a t-shirt, it is a special Fisherman's Wharf t-shirt that you can only get at this In-N-Out Burger location. Today, it is not very busy. If you're looking at the street and saying, where is everybody, Chris? This is filmed in April 2022. And, we're just coming out of the pandemic. And so lots of people still haven't made it back to San Francisco. But when this street is hopping, it is really packed here and really busy. It almost becomes hard to walk down this sidewalk. What is the temperature on this day in April, mid-April? It's probably about 65 degrees. It's sunny, blue skies, fairly unrepresentative for San Francisco because this city is known for its fog and not its sunshine. But if you're planning to come here, definitely bring some long sleeves. If you saw me on the start, I've got long sleeves on. Most people have some long sleeves. It's nice in the sun, but it is really quite windy. You might not be able to hear it in my microphone because the wind is to my back. Now, unfortunately, you see the pandemic has closed some places. This was a classic Italian restaurant that's been here since 1916, but they are no more. Oh, so in addition to the cable car, the other way you might want to come down here are with these streetcars. You can take these streetcars basically from Union Square if you're staying down there, and they'll bring you all the way here to Fisherman's Wharf. The BART, Bay Area Rapid Transit, or the subway doesn't really run here. So this spot right here, I would say to me, like if you're looking to take a picture of something that looks wharfy, right here in front of that, kind of In-N-Out Burger kitty corner from it, this is where people actually fish. This is where the fishermen park their fishing boats. This is actually still a working harbor, maybe not a big part of it, but yes. And if you come out here earlier in the day when the fishermen are coming back, then they process the fish and unload them back into these warehouses over here. But you're probably just here not to unload fish, but perhaps to eat some crab. As you can see, Supreme Crab Seafood House is open right there. Now, this place, Tarantino's, looks like it's all kind of sad today. A lot of these places have gone out of business or are not open, but this place during crab season would always have big steamed crabs out here on the street with sourdough bread, and this sidewalk would also always be packed. This is my first time being back in the city of San Francisco since the pandemic hit. It's been over 2 years, and definitely time for me to make it back here. We do see the double-decker buses have returned. There's a red double-decker bus just waiting at that intersection. There's a saxophone player off in the distance. And see, Tarantino's had a sign here for their sidewalk cafe that would have been just right here on the sidewalk. Now, if you're really unadventuresome, you can find an Applebee's right there on the second floor of this building. I really wonder who eats at that Applebee's. There's a Madame Tussauds wax museum down there, and then the other iconic Fisherman's Wharf picture is to take a selfie with the Fisherman's Wharf sign of San Francisco. Probably the most expensive parking is right here. We're gonna go down this way for a little bit, then we'll come down that way. So this section, when it's open, has all these street stalls. These things, they boil up crab in there. They break them right here for you. And these things, they just say closed, so I don't know what the deal is. This one is open though, so you can see right here. Take a look at these crabs right there. You can see those crabs, and they boil them up right there, so they cook them for you. You can get a crab salad sandwich. You can get shrimp. You can get the crab claws, or you can also get shrimp, French fries, calamari. And what are the prices? A cup of clam chowder is going to cost you $10. And if you're looking for a crab sandwich, $13.75, half lobster, $30. And then when you get it, you can just eat it out right here on the sidewalk and listen to this guy serenading you if he's here. Or there are some restaurants that are still open that you could eat inside if you so prefer. But each one of these bars had their own little thing out here for crab, and so it is unfortunately sad to see pretty much every single one of them closed. You get the picture. This whole section is closed and sad. One that's perhaps still open is the Chowder Hut. It's probably gonna be the most touristy one. A neat place back here, the Musee Mechanique. I'm not gonna go in that one in this video. I'll have a whole separate video walkthrough of there. If you like pinball, if you like old arcade machines, check that out. There's no admission fee. It's free to go into, and a good time. You gotta pay to play the games though. And here's what those crab places look like from the outside. Apologize, we might be getting a little wind noise into the mic as I've turned into the wind, but we're gonna turn back away from the wind here in a section. This guy has quite the setup. Really impressive, I must say. So, I said there's Madame Tussauds. There's also a Ripley's, believe it or not. The vibe of Fisherman's Wharf has a little bit of the vibe of Hollywood Boulevard, because on Hollywood Boulevard in LA, you'll also find a Ripley's, believe it or not, and a Madame Tussauds wax museum. Now, I mentioned sourdough. This is one of my favorite places to eat down here at Boudin, famous San Francisco sourdough bread. We will pop into this place and take a walk through it as we continue. But you can see they got pictures of their bread bowls here on the wall. That's what you're gonna wanna get. You're gonna wanna get the clam chowder in a sourdough bread bowl. San Francisco classic, says the sign. So when you come in here, the place instantly smells like bread. And in addition to bread, it's also got like a shop and a supermarket, but you can see their fresh baked breads back on the wall here. We're gonna walk down a second, but before that, I wanna show you this map of Fisherman's Wharf, where we're walking, where we've been, and where we're going to. So we started right here at the Powell Hyde cable car turnaround, Ghiradelli Square. We've been walking this way. We're now right here at Boudin in the red, and we're gonna be walking to Pier 39 right there. Where we're not gonna be walking to, but you should know, is the cruise ship terminal. You've got a cruise ship you might be docking here. Also, Pier 33, that's where you would go to Alcatraz, and you see Alcatraz Island is just up there in the back. Okay, so looking down here, this place is popular, and so there's actually quite a long line. This is well, there's two lines. So there's one line if you just want to get like bread here from the bread thing. And then if you want to get food, that was the counter on the left. And then they've also got, drinks and things like that. And then they've got a full service restaurant that's up there. But let me spin around slowly to not make you sick. How much does the soup cost here? $10.99 is what the clam chowder in the bread bowl is going to cost you at Boudin. They've also got good sandwiches that are $11 as well. It is San Francisco, and so nothing's cheap. But what I love also are look at the breads back here that are shaped like animals. I'm going to zoom in so you can see this a little bit more. There's like bears, there's like alligators. You can get bread that looks like 2022. And I didn't do it, whatever happened. And then there's actually these baskets in the ceiling that deliver the bread from the bakery out here, which is neat. So you can see where the bread is being baked, because this is actually the bakery where they bake the bread. You can see all these racks of bread in here. You can see those things that are bringing the bread in. If we look in there, you can see on these racks, there's some more spots we can see. You can eat in here. This is the coolest eating area inside the bread bakery. And there's also more viewing areas upstairs, and there's like a museum upstairs all about sourdough bread and why San Francisco has the best sourdough bread. And if you want to eat outside, they have a big outside eating area. If you want the place with the best view, then the Franciscan Crab Restaurant right there has a fantastic view of Alcatraz that we'll take a look at in a moment. Oh, by the way, if you want to just take a harbor cruise, there's this place here called the Red and White Fleet that has some harbor boats that'll go out. Those will not take you to Alcatraz. You can only view Alcatraz there. If you want to go to Alcatraz, there's only one ferry company that does it. You need to make reservations, book them in advance. They are popular. Don't get to San Francisco and then try to turn up on the same day. You likely won't be getting on the ferry in that case, or at least not the one that actually goes to Alcatraz. This neighborhood has a lot of these classic arches, classic seaside buildings. And right here out in front of Boudin and in front of this Franciscan thing is where you're gonna get your best views of Alcatraz, that island in the distance there in the harbor. You can also see some people have been using this fence to put the locks on there, no doubt symbol of their love. Their love is always going to be here in San Francisco when they come back. Now they've locked it there. But that's Alcatraz Island right back there, the unescapable prison in the middle of the bay. And there's, on that pier, there's a Navy ship that's also a museum behind that Musee, Mechanique, that we saw. And if you're wondering how far is this from the Golden Gate Bridge, it's about 5 miles if you're walking it from Pier 39 to the Golden Gate Bridge. Totally walkable, just a really long walk, just know that, but you totally can walk it. Lots of benches here. You can sit out on a sunny day and enjoy. We're just 1 block over from the main street with all the gift shops on it that we started on because we went back through Boudin. This, you can see this arch used to extend out to another pier and another set of things that are here, but that one is no more. This is usually full of street vendors, one after another, but just like the crabs, there are only 2 street vendors out here today, selling some stuffed animals and some panda hats, but you can see this would be another spot marked for some street vendors or some entertainers, perhaps. If you need to use the restroom while you're out here, my recommendation, there are some public restrooms in these little green buildings. I don't recommend those. I would recommend using the restroom at Pier 39, which is where we're gonna end this particular video. It's like a shopping mall on a pier, kind of like Santa Monica Pier without the rides, though it does actually have a neat carousel. And it's really famous for the sea lions that are out there. By the way, if you want to see more about Pier 39 after this, because you're considering going there, I'll have a whole video just taking you down Pier 39 that you could watch right after this. Here's one of those cable cars that I told you about that you could take from Union Square to come down here, part of San Francisco's public transit. Good place to park if you didn't book in advance is the Pier 39 parking structure, convenient and close. You can book online, and I think it's like $20 all day. But my tip for you if you're looking to park here is to use the Spot Hero app, SPOTHERO. And like I parked at the Marriott Fisherman's Wharf all day for $9. That's a pretty good deal. And it's valet parking, and they park it down underneath the hotel, and so I am less worried about my car parked down there. Here we got some folks cooking up some hot dogs. Like I said, there's a lot of similarity to Fisherman's Wharf and Hollywood, downtown Los Angeles. You'll find the same things there. There's a Ben and Jerry's for ice cream. My favorite flavor at Ben & Jerry's is the Chunky Monkey or the Cherry Garcia. Check those 2 flavors out if you go to Ben & Jerry's. Related to things that, again, continue to not be open, which seems to be a little bit of a theme with this video. There's a lot of stuff not open here. The dog house, not open. The hot dog guys walking by were open. Not sure what this guy's doing here with the Golden State Warrior thing on the box. Maybe trying to be really still. Maybe put $1 in this thing and you get something. Yeah, I think that's what we're doing here. All right, there's another snack stand here. This one with cotton candy, churros, and corn dogs. So if you are coming to Pier 39, super convenient if you park at that parking structure, because it's got a little bridge that'll take you right over the street of the parking garage right into the Pier 39 shopping mall. That's really what I call it. Oh, and then just over this way, some statues of sea lions. There's a crab right there. And then down off in this direction off the left is where you'll see the sea lions at Pier 39 if you choose to go down there. It's an iconic San Francisco thing. So if you come to Fisherman's Wharf, you definitely need to see the sea lions at Pier 39. If you want to see more about this pier, well, I got a whole video on it. You can click right here to watch it, assuming it's out. If it's not out yet, then you might enjoy just watching my video about travel tips for all of San Francisco in general. You'll find that right here. Also, links in the description below. As usual, I won't say goodbye because I'll see you in the next video.